Okay, welcome back to my video. So today we're going to solve another problem in LeetCode. So we're going to solve problem 28, implement strStr. So how are we going to do it? So first, let's read the descriptions of these functions. So implement strStr functions, return the index of the first occurrence of needle in the haystack, or -1 if the needle is not part of the haystack. So how are we going to do this? So the first thing that we want to do is just basically set up our code, IOStream. We're going to include some libraries in here. So the first thing is just IOStreams, that's for cout and cin functions, cout and cin. And then we have to include strings because we're going to use strings in this program. And then we have to use using namespace std. We don't have to, but I like to use it. And then I'm going to create a main functions right here. And inside the main functions I'm going to declare variables. I'm going to create two strings. The first one is going to be the haystacks, and the second one is going to be the needle, right? Okay, so now what we're trying to do is that we want to prompt the users to enter the strings, to input the string. Okay, cout haystack, okay, cin haystack, cout and line, cout needle, okay, cin needle. Cool. Okay, now we are going to find the index of the needle in the haystack. Okay, we need to have an integer variable called index that's gonna hold the index positions. Okay, so what we want to do is that we have to go through the haystack every single characters. We're gonna go through the haystack. We're gonna iterate through the haystack one character at a time. So for integer I is equal 0, I less than haystack length, we're gonna call the functions. That function is gonna return the length of the haystack. So if the haystack is the word hello, then this function is gonna return 5 because there are 5 letters in hello, right? And then I++, cool. So we have to tell ourselves that hold on. So we're gonna set it okay, never. So if the needle is an empty string, right? If needle equal length equal equal 0, it means it's an empty string. So we just have to say break. We're gonna break this loop because if there's no needle, there would be no point of going through this loop, right? So we just break. We're gonna say index equal -1, and then we just break. The second case so this is the first case. Case 1, when the needle string is empty. Okay, the second case would be when the needle string is 1. Okay, so if needle length equal 1 and needle 0 equal, so that the first characters of the needle, if it's equal to the haystack, the first character of the haystack, then what we want to do is that we're gonna compare the next characters of the needle and the next character of the haystack. So for integers, j equal 1 because this when the index is 1, that's the second characters of the needle. So j is equal 1, j less than needle length, and then j plus plus. If okay, if needle j not equal to haystack I plus j. The reasons why this I plus j is because, so in this loop, let's say we're working with the first characters, right? So the index is going to be 0, I is equal to 0. And then because the needle length is equal to, oh wait, hold on. No, we don't need it. I'm sorry. We're going to delete this. My bad. And then we just break, right? We're gonna say the index equal to I. Okay, I'm gonna show you why right here. Okay, let's say we have letter B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, right? Alright. So this is the haystack, and then the needle is going to be A, right? So let's say we have to go through, we look at it, this loop. We're going through this loop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. We're gonna iterate through every single element of this string, and we're gonna compare. Okay, so when the needle string is 1, so the needle string is 1 in this case because our needle is A, right? If needle length is equal to 1 and needle 0 equal to haystack I, so in this case the first comparisons is going to be between letter B and letter A, which is not equal, so they're going to go to the next loop. So the next iteration is when the I is equal to 1. That is when it compare letter A with letter A. Because they're equal, we just break right there, because we want to find the first occurrence of the needle in the haystack. Because if we don't break right here without this break statement, it's going to go on. It's going to compare the next characters, letter B with A. Okay, it's not equal. It's going to go on again and say, okay, letter A is equal to letter A. So the index is going to be equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 3 instead of 1 now. That's not correct. That's why we have to break. And when you use the break statement, it's going to get out, it's going to exit the nearest for loop, right? So when you use the break right here, it's going to exit this for loop. Cool. So the last case is going to be case 3. That is when the needle string is greater than 1. So we have to say if needle length is greater than 1 and needle 0 equal to haystack I. So what we're trying to do here is that we have to we're gonna have to compare. We have to so let's say the needle is going to be I'm gonna clear all drawing. Let's say B, right? That's the haystack, and then the needle is going to be AA. Okay, so the first characters of the needle is equal to this second characters of. Okay, so the index I and index J. So I is the index of the haystack, okay? and then J is the index of the needle. Cool. Okay. So the first iteration is when I is equal to 0. That's when so that's letter B, right? And then because they're not equal to letter A, because needle 0 is A, and it's not equal to haystack at the first characters of the haystacks. Therefore, it's not gonna go into this if statement. It's not going to this if statement. However, when it go on to the second characters, so i's increment by 1 and it's go to the next character, so it's gonna be the second A. Because the second A is equal to the A in the haystack, it's gonna go into this loop. It's going to go to this if statement. So what we're trying to do is that we have to compare the next characters in the haystack with the next characters of the I'm sorry, we have to we have to compare the next character of the haystack and the next characters of the needle. So this is how we're gonna do it. So for integer j equal 1, j less than needle length, and then j plus plus. Okay, we have okay, and we have to compare if integers if needle j not equal to needle I'm sorry, haystack I plus j. The reasons why it's I plus j is because i's in this case, let's say this character is equal to this character, right? So i's in this case is going to be 1 and j i's is 1, right? So if we want to compare with the next characters, we have to add 1 to that, right? Because j start 1, we're going to add 1. That's when we compare the next characters with this character. Cool. Okay. So if they're not equal, we just break Wait, no. If they're not equal. Yes. If it's not equal, we just break the for loop, right? And else if needle, else if needle else the index is going to be equal to I, and that's it. Okay, let's try to run this. Okay, we have to display this too, so we're going to display this. Display the index of the needle, CL index of the needle in the haystack. Index and then inline. Oops. So let's say BAAB, and the needle is going to be AA. The index of the needle in the haystack is 1, that's correct. So in this case, that we're going to work with the needle string is greater than 1 because there are 2 characters in the needles. Let's try to have an empty string. So the haystack is going to be B, and needle is going to be just enter. That's weird. Let's run it again. I don't know how to enter empty strings into the needle. That's the problem. So let's say the haystack is going to be AAA. So let's work with case number 2 when the needle string is 1. A. And next up, the needle in the haystack is 0. That's correct, right? So it's the first occurrence of the needle in the haystack. Cool. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you guys liked this video, and if there's anything that you guys would like me to add to this video or any advices or criticism, just put them in the comments, and thank you so much.